guys, Jerry from Showtime Audio. So Hondo finished up the McLaren project and just wanted to walk you through all his amazing handiwork. We're gonna show you where basically everything lives and why we chose to do it the way we did it. So on this particular vehicle, we have two GPS antennas. We have a GPS antenna for the Redenzo and a GPS antenna for the ALP. Both of them serve two different functions. The Redenzo uses it for red light cameras and so that it knows its location, and the ALP uses it for when to fire the TX and when not to fire the TX. Those live, one lives on this side, the other lives on this side. Now these pieces are probably like the only pieces of this car that are like composite versus carbon, like actual plastic versus carbon fiber. So we're able to put the antennas under there and still get a GPS signal. The radar head actually lives right behind here. Also another piece that happens to be composite because again, we cannot read through metal or carbon fiber. On the front of this vehicle, we went with three heads. So there's an RX, a TX, and then another RX. Now Hondo bent out of aluminum these really cool brackets. We'll show you some video of that. They're machined, they're bent, and then they're painted so that they blend in with the vehicle, and that mounts the actual laser heads themselves. So everything on the front end is mounted. Now, this car is not the easiest car in the world, right? So obviously there's space is a rare thing in this car. Running wires is very difficult. I mean, we had to take apart, and we'll show you a video of that, had to take apart the entire front area in order to run the wires correctly. And in order to get to the place to run the wires, we'll show you video of that as well, we had to take apart a majority of the interior of the cabin on both sides in order to just get access to the boot to run the wires through the boot the same way as the factory does. It is involved, but for us, it's the only way to do it. We want to follow factory harnesses, and we want it to be as OEM as possible. All right. And so on the rear here, same thing. We went with three sensors. Vehicle, we went with the RX, and then the TX is down there if you can see it. So on this particular vehicle, we did not do housings. So this car does spit fire. So it is awesome, right? So it actually spits fire out of here from the twin turbos. And then this is your exhaust. So to say that it gets a little hot back here would be an understatement, right? The factory has even gone as far as, you know, putting this plate to help with the heat of the exhaust. And over here, they actually have an air system that basically creates a shield so that the fire doesn't kind of bend back and melt the paint off the back of the car. So that's one of the reasons we didn't go with housings on this particular car, because of all the black, the sensors kind of blend in and look as if they came with the vehicle. The rear radar lives here also as well. So it's there's brackets for everything. Everything is mounted. There's disconnects. Everything is labeled. So if the car ever does have to get serviced, they can literally unhook it instead of cutting wires. We just did a car recently that did not have the service connectors, and dealer just cut the wires, you figure it out. We don't want to have to deal with that, so we always put these, their service connectors, basically you can undo them, and they're labeled on both sides so that there's no messing them up. I guess if you try really hard, you could, but they're labeled for each individual sensor. And so for the display, we opted for right here. So the nice thing is, so there's a wireless charger that lives back here. So you still want to be able to access that, right? But you want the control. So the nice thing is, you know, if you're driving, it's right here. During an attack, the first three buttons are your mute buttons, right? But more than that is you're able to access everything, and you can quickly glance and see, like this also, part of the GPS is so that it tells you the speed you were at when you got hit. So when the attack started, it'll tell you the speed that you were hit at. Obviously, it's really good information to know so that you actually know how fast you were going when you got hit. So the other nice benefit of having it here is if in an attack or just in general, or you don't want to use the system or you want to disable the system, the face is magnetic. So you pull it off and chuck it, or you hide it, or you put it away, or use it as a key, right? So you can literally take it with you. Now the system is dead. There's no way to turn it on. So there's literally no way to activate the system, so you don't have to worry about it beeping or making crazy noises when somebody's there, right? So, and then to get the system back online, all you do is when you get back, I don't know if you saw that, but let me show you. So the system auto locks right back into place and the unit comes on immediately. Now you can just hold down the power button and turn the unit off, but it's just a really nice feature to be able to pop it off and put it away, put it in your pocket, throw it under, whatever, right? So we like that feature because, again, the last thing you want is this thing making all kinds of crazy noises when somebody walks up on you. So this was the client's preference. He wanted it simple. He wanted it non-invasive. So you've seen some of our other builds. We can do it in the rear view mirror with our mirror notch. We can do it in the cluster. We can split the unit and put the buttons put the buttons here and then put the display somewhere else. But on this particular car, it is a special edition. It's a 60th anniversary edition. And the client, obviously it is not a cheap car. So the client did not want any major mods that would involve a lot of work to the vehicle. So this keeps it simple, but very functional. Again, same thing with the housings. Did not want a particular housings on this vehicle. One, for the heat on the back, and two, just aesthetically, to not change the lines. This is a gorgeous car. I mean, the car is just beautiful, right? We don't want to mess that up. Now, if the client did want housings, we would have found a way to make them to take off of the factory cues, factory lines, and make it look as if it was an extension of the vehicle, where we always do it in a way that it's hard to tell where the car ends and our stuff begins.
Visit our website at showtimeaudiochicago.com